Hello world, we are the
Brother Floggers!
We are doing a movie review of Midway, and it was a war movie. Imagine that, in Midway.
There's at least 3 people who died.
At least. And there was a fire once. We're here to tell you what to watch and who to with it.
And who with it when?
We're here to tell you what to watch and who to watch with, and if this is a groovy movie for you.
There we go. Got it. That was well said. Good job.
Yay! Well, Mandy Moore was supposed to be here with us today, but unfortunately she was on tour with the Muppets, so she couldn't make it.
Yeah. Tour with more.
This movie is about the Battle of Midway that happened in World War II after Pearl Harbor, and it takes you through a series of characters who were actually in those battles, actual historical people, and they take you with them through those battles, through the Battle of Midway, and how that all occurred and happened on a historical timeline is kind of the premise of this movie.
I didn't actually realize going into it that there's going to be more backstory. I thought it was just focused on the Battle of Midway, but they do include like Pearl Harbor and the events leading up to the battle and why it was important. So that was kind of cool.
This movie has kind of a star-studded cast. It's got Patrick Wilson, it's got Woody Harrelson, Luke Evans, Dennis Quaid. It's got a lot of good, famous actors that they all got for this. It's directed by Roland Emmerich, who's done a bunch of over-the-top action movies and hasn't really done anything very good since The Patriot.
Yeah, like Day After Tomorrow, some of those things which weren't my particular cup of tea, but maybe if you like Destruction of the World, then you might have liked it.
Yeah, he does. But he does these huge action movies. So this was good for Midway. And the one thing I did like about it, we'll jump into this, is it's very constant action. Like there's very little delay.
And they had good action sequences too, like the plane fights and just like the battles with the ships and the air and the water and the sky.
Super intense. After this movie, my hand was like numb from my wife squeezing it to death.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was really intense for her.
Oh, I didn't think it was that intense.
But she really liked it, but it was really intense. Versus like Pearl Harbor. So it starts with Pearl Harbor, and you know the Pearl Harbor movie has this huge dramatic love scene involved in it. This is like just war. It's like there's a little bit of family. Some of the characters, they show their families and their kids.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's more focused on the historical events, I guess, the actual battles.
Which I think is kind of fun because if you like action war movies, it shows you the dates of what happened, they show what happened, and just takes you kind of date to date from Pearl Harbor to Midway, all the events and battles leading up to it, essentially.
Some parts of history that they don't pay too much attention to sometimes in other movies.
Yeah, it becomes a kind of a historical movie with lots of killing in it.
Yeah.
It's like a documentary with killing in it. It's cool.
A docu-kill.
A docu-kill. The acting was pretty good.
That's
overall.
True. They did have great acting.
They have great acting.
And like you said, they had a star-studded cast, a lot of great faces and names.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see those people all together.
There's not any really strong female actresses.
No, let's get to that. The Mandy Moore is in this, and I don't really like Mandy Moore as an actress.
You don't like her anymore?
No.
Maybe why don't you like her?
I don't think she's a very good actress.
Oh.
There's a couple lines that
she's hot.
That's the only reason she's in this movie, because her acting job. She's okay, but there's a couple lines she tries to deliver in this movie that I was like, boy, Mandy Moore.
And I don't know how much that was Mandy Moore, though, because I felt like there's quite a few dialogues that just struggled in this movie. And I think it was the director or whoever, the writer, whoever's in charge of making the dialogue good.
That's
failed.
True. And that's
at a few different times.
Because there was quite a few lines throughout this movie that you're like...
Because even like Woody Harrelson, a couple of them, just like, oh, that just feels uncomfortable the way he said that.
It was not a natural flow.
Yeah. So I blame it on the writers, not the actors. I didn't blame... I love you still, Mandy.
Yeah. I felt like some of the characters almost didn't fit together well. It was almost like the main character, Dick Best, he I mean, he's a real person, but the actor who played him and stuff, he just kind of rubbed me wrong. He was like...
The actor was not a real person.
Yeah, the actor was fake. He was all CGI.
Yeah, I thought it was very unfortunate that they chose to focus the main storyline along Dick, because his name is representative of his character, and he just. He's
kind of a
just
jerk.
an annoying jerk, and I was just like, why are we focusing on this guy?
Super
Why doesn't he
arrogant.
get shot down and die?
Yes. And I think they probably did because he did some really brave things. The actual person did some really brave things, some really crazy things. So I think they made him so rough and so like uncomfortable, especially at first.
Unlikable.
Yeah. Towards the end he was better, but at the beginning, and I don't like the actor they got for him, Ed Skrein. He's a GOT actor. Game of Thrones, for those who don't know.
Got milk?
We're spelling words for Bryce. He's learning.
Yeah. ICECREAM. You want some?
You must have children. I loved Woody Harrelson. I really liked Luke Evans.
Patrick Wilson.
Patrick Wilson.
Did a great job.
I love
he was an intelligence officer.
Oh, he is awesome. I love him in every movie he's in. I just love Patrick Wilson. I love Patrick Wilson. Patrick. Dennis Quaid was a little weird in this one.
He was really weird, but
he looked weird too.
Did
you think he looked weird?
Well, he's supposed to, because he had like rashes and was like very unhealthy person.
I feel like he looked like he got plastic surgery or something. Did he look weird to you?
He always looks plastic to me.
He looked really different in this movie. Like
Maybe.
he tried to make himself younger and it didn't work or something. I don't know. Maybe not.
Because normally I really liked Dennis Quaid.
Yeah,
but he wasn't a super likable character in this.
No, and
I think that's what he was supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So same thing with Dick, but I don't know. He just.
But there's just a little bit too much Dick to me. I hate that name.
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
Sorry for all of you who are named Dick.
Sorry, Dick. That's just, it's kind of a rough name.
Yeah, we'll call him Best. That's his last name.
Yeah,
it's not the best name, but it's the best.
It's best. But he is best.
No, he's a Dick.
That's kind of a weird combination of names, Dick and Best. That seems weird to me.
The teacher's role, Best Dick. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is good. After I read this,
this is a mature audience only review. Of course, it's a military movie, so nowadays they love to put in a lot of swearing. There's one F word. You're going to get a lot of just cussing throughout the movie because it is a war movie, and they like to make it true to military.
That's true. Maybe I'm just desensitized. I didn't feel like there was as much swearing as I expected there would be for the war movie.
That's true. I would agree with that. There was quite a bit, but for some war movies, it wasn't over the top for sure.
Yeah, which is maybe it's probably because they're shooting for PG-13 rating instead of that much.
Action and stuff isn't overly violent. They don't show a lot of blood, a lot of gore, anything like that. Of course, it's PG-13, so
and it helps too because they're mostly planes fighting ships or ships fighting planes or ships fighting ships.
There's no
so
hand
it's more just like explosions and over-the-top action rather than gory, kill you, rip off your arms type stuff.
Yeah.
One thing that I struggled a little bit a few different times too was the CGI. I felt like they just were lacking a little bit. There's one spot where the fire is very obviously fake.
Yeah, it looks like it was in a studio with lights more than flames.
Yeah, and there's a couple of the planes where you're just like, oh wow, that's not real.
Because the dog fighting and the action sequences are really cool, but the CGI
explosions and destruction.
Yeah, they're awesome as far as how they like the order and how they did it. But yeah, some of the CGI on the actual visual effects.
Most of it was alright, but there's a few different spots where I was like, oh, that's just.
We're in 2020. Well, I guess it was filmed 2019. That's probably why.
Oh, that's true. They brought out the technology.
Yeah, for the movie nowadays.
Plus, they're probably they're so like historically minded. They're probably using like 1950s techniques, 1940s techniques to do the CGI.
That's probably right. And they're using puppets and models. Yeah.
And that actually would have been better
than some of the bad CGI.
Yeah. Well.
So I think as far as a rating on this is a war movie. They give it a PG-13 rating. Anytime with war movies and this kind of stuff, I tend to would wait for my kids to be a little older. So like 13 and a half.
Yeah, I'd probably say 13 3/4 because I just feel like they need to have that extra 3/4 of your maturity to really appreciate the violence and the swear words without being, and Mandy Moore without being freaked out.
Yeah, see, Mandy Moore, it should be like a 16 plus.
Yeah, that's true.
Just kidding. Actually, she's dressed modestly, so I guess that's good.
I already put her out of my mind.
And there are no...
I'm thinking of
yeah, right, liar. But there are no sex scenes. There's not even any kissing or anything. Like it's pretty much a war movie.
It mostly focuses on Dick Best who no one wants to kiss him.
Yeah, so even his wife, Mandy Moore.
Yeah, you're a great husband. Go back to battle.
When she got in the script, she's like, can we just not have any kissing in this movie? This is, man.
Yeah, her character actually kind of bugged me.
Yeah, she did a little bit. She was she's almost as annoying as her husband.
Yeah, they were a great combination of annoying.
She was a real strong, annoying.
Yeah, I hate strong women.
Hey, anyone
who
has an opinion.
It wasn't that she's strong. She was just so feisty and like unpleasant to like.
Yeah, to the commanding officers.
Best friends, not his best friends, but like best.
Not the best friends.
Not his
but
best friends. But Mr. Best Friends. What a name.
That was confusing. But I think as far as rating though goes, I mean, you have some violence, you have some those kind of things. PG-13 is probably pretty appropriate.
Pretty appropriate. Kind of what you'd expect in a PG-13 war movie, honestly.
Yeah, PG-13. I would tend to probably take my kids a little bit later when you see those, but the historical part of it is cool. So I would say probably 13, 14 above is probably pretty appropriate for this one. And this one's a fun one to watch with somebody who knows something about World War II, because there is a lot of historical information, and we know a little bit. Bryce knows a little bit more, but it's fun to go in knowing that this is to have someone talk about the details. So after the movie, there was a guy behind us talking with some people about some of the actual facts and historical value that happened in this movie. So I thought that would be fun to discuss this with someone who actually knows.
Yeah, I haven't done a lot of research, but the way they present it gives a feeling of authenticity and historical accuracy. So I'm going to say it probably is.
Probably pretty close.
I mean,
at least they wouldn't
have exaggerated anything.
Yeah.
We know it was real because there's a date on it.
And at the end, and this isn't a spoiler alert, but at the end, they do have...
Japanese lose.
No!
I'm sorry! I mean like the war, not the battle.
But they actually show the characters and who the real person was, and they give a little bit about them.
Yeah.
So, there is some accuracy on this, and they did it for quite a few characters, which I thought was really cool.
One thing that I struggled a little bit with this movie, too, I was going to mention, is there was just so many areas of history that they tried to cover that I felt like...
it was stretched.
It was stretched a little too thin because they were doing like the Doolittle raid and the Marshall Islands battles and Midway and Pearl Harbor, and it's just it was just too much of a campaign to fit into one movie. I think they should have just cut out some of the other stuff and just maybe done like
kind of a Roland Emmerich approach, isn't it? Over the top, a lot of stuff. That's kind of his style, I think.
The final ratings. I'm curious to see what you gave it.
So, I would say for this one, drum roll. That was a really bad drum.
Sorry, I missed that machine guns in there.
Machine roll. I think I would give it just one thumb. Maybe 1.5. And the reason for that is I really like the action sequences. I thought it's a very intense movie. It's very fun that way. It's a pretty heavy movie. They had some problems with CGI. Some of the screenwriting, like we talked about, was kind of off in the presentation of the acting. Overall, though, I love the actors. I love the action, so I have to give it at least 1. But I'm going to add a half there, just because I did like the intensity of going into an action movie like this.
Okay.
What would you give it?
I was also going to give it 1, but I was like trying to decide between like half a thumb and like 1 thumb. Because I was like, I'm the same way though. Like I thought the action sequences were good, and I really appreciate the historical, authentic feel that they gave.
Yeah, that was cool.
So there's a lot of good components. So I think it's a good one-time watch. So I'd give it a thumb.
Yeah, and this is a fun one.
But just my left thumb.
Right. Yeah, is it a left thumb or a right thumb movie? I would give it a righty with a lefty laugher.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. Hope you enjoyed this movie review. I hope it was helpful for you. Yeah, we had a really good time. And I hope that this helps you decide what movies are best for you, if the movie is groovy. And go ahead and like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you felt like this was an accurate World War II movie, and if this was true to what actually happened. If you know anything about it, and if you don't, let us know anyway. And
just make it up.
Yeah, just pretend like you're a historical buff. That'd be sweet. But like and subscribe, let us know. We're going to be sending out all kinds of movie reviews, and let us know if there's any movies you want us to review.
Jonas, go and get Jonas.
Whoa.